I believe that, yes, for the most part, it really does keep up the quality of the first season. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is what also makes this an important show. You know, I said one thing, but it's a couple of things. I believe that the quality of something like The Boys and this, but especially this, I believe that these are so good that they're what's kind of keeping superheroes going.
Sure.
Right.
When people talk about the fatigue,
Yeah.
they do not mention The Boys. Or,
no. Marvel, DC.
I'm going to tell you, if superhero fatigue is real, then shows like The Boys and Invincible, they're the caffeine or the cocaine that we need to kind of keep us awake and want more of this. We're going to be at the Broadway Comedy Club again, December 8th. That's a Friday. Going to be in the Red Room show at 10 p.m. So please get your tickets by going to BroadwayComedyClub.com or go to doubletoastedny.com. And it should take you to this page right here where you can get your tickets now. You know, one of my favorite shows out there is a superhero show. And it's not the show that people are thinking of, man. You know, when I said that, I usually say it's The Boys.
Yes, you do.
Right, yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Over and over again.
Love The Boys.
I love The Boys, but The Boys has been taken over by Invincible!
Hey!
There you go. There you go. Did I make you proud, sir?
Yes,
there you go. Season 1, that is. You know, season 1 of Invincible, it helped, first of all, that I read the comic based on the recommendation of a lot of people, including yourself. And I have to say that very much a faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
And the things that they did change, they changed it for very good reasons.
Right.
It dealt pretty much with a wholesome kid named Mark. And Mark, lucky Mark, his dad is one of the greatest superheroes on the planet. And also a loving dad. Omni-Man. What's Omni-Man's real name? It begins with an N.
Nolan.
Nolan
Grayson.
Nolan Grayson. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell by that picture that his father's a homicidal, genocidal maniac from another planet of racist.
Yeah.
Worse than Homelander.
When people talk about who's worse, Homelander or Omni-Man, one thing I can say about Homelander loves his son. Omni-Man beat the out of his son. He said, son,
you never been a father. So
yeah. He said, you know what, you're a disappointment. Now, a lot of fathers would just tell their kids that. You're a disappointment, son. Get the hell out of my house. Not Omni-Man. Omni-Man will beat the shit out of you. Because he lived on Earth for so long and married an Earth woman named Debbie, who is Mark's mother, sort of took on a lot of human traits, including actual love, some human emotions.
despite his best efforts.
Despite his best efforts to be a homicidal asshole. This is where the show took a turn. I think that it's fun watching people watch the show because it started out sort of like almost like a family animated superhero show.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it turned extremely violent. It turned extremely very adult. How also deep and emotional a lot of the writing was. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just about Mark either. It was still a coming of age story for Mark, but turns out that there are so many other characters in this where as they build this world up, I know, yeah. I know, man.
What did that dude do to deserve that?
You know what he did? He was there.
Yeah, he showed up.
Wrong place, wrong time. That's the thing about the show. You never know, man. There was so many things in the show that caught you off guard. And one of the things that caught people off guard with this is that between handling all this stuff that I just mentioned, it was also somewhat of a cool superhero satire too.
Yeah. It's all of that. And I would dare say the thing that makes it better than The Boys is that The Boys, it mostly focuses on satire and shock value.
Yeah.
Shocking the audience with its violence. And while this Invincible has shocking moments, it's got a lot of human moments, and you got a lot of complex characters.
Yeah. First of all, we're going to do a review of season 2. Talk about how it compares to season 1. Can it still carry on the greatness this season? By the way, we only got half of season 2, which is going to be the case for everybody, I believe.
What, they're only going to broadcast the first 4?
I think so.
And then the other 4 later?
I think so. I don't know if we got all the episodes for this first half, but I do know what it's that they're going to be showing the second half to everybody later on down the line.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm not sure how this is going to happen.
Okay.
But let me just say this, and this is already kind of giving away what I feel about this season, but I'm going to put it out there anyway because it's part of a bigger discussion. I'm going to talk about why I think, and that continues with season 2, why I think Invincible is still one of the best, not only one of the best superhero shows on television, but also the most important. And it's most important for, at least for me, you can tell me if you agree or disagree, it's really important for one particular reason that I see right here that not a lot of people are talking about. But as somebody who's a fan of animation, I noticed something here that I really appreciate. So we're going to talk about why this is still one of the best and also one of the most important superhero properties and shows out there right now.
Okay.
Now, me saying that this is already one of the best kind of gives it away, but Martin hasn't said what he thought about it yet, which is what we're going to do. We're going to discuss that and more after we return from watching the trailer.
So arrogant, just like your father.
And if you think you can stop us, don't forget, I'm
Invincible! You're an asshole. That's what you are, at least that version. What is it all about? I thought he was a hero. Well, you have to see the show to find out what that's about. But for those who are returning, you know what's going on. And for those who are new here, well, you missed a lot in season 1. And in season 1, when Omni-Man did turn into a genocidal maniac, took out Chicago, killed thousands of people while trying to kill his son. Because his son is of, what do they call him? Viltrumite blood. And that is the race that Omni-Man is from. And all they are is, they're a planet full of races to just see other planets as inferior. And they see it as their job to go in and take over. And if people resist, then they just kill them because, you know what, they weren't shit anyway. They weren't. They were not as good as they are.
Yeah, and it turns out Omni-Man has been a sleeper agent. His real role was to come here to Earth and conquer it for the Viltrumite Empire. As soon as his son was, gained his powers, and then he went about completing his mission.
Yep.
Damn. Thanos wasn't that damn bad, huh?
Man, compared to seriously, Homeland ain't shit compared to Omni-Man.
He's really not.
Shit.
Like, if you really want to compare the two, there's no comparison.
No, I said Thanos.
No, Thanos ain't as bad as he is. Thanos just snapped people out of existence.
Yeah, you get half.
This man tears people apart. That scene that you saw where, you probably saw that scene where he's in front of a subway, just killing people with his son. Yeah, that's from season 1 of this. All that blood that's on him, that's from not only killing all those people on the subway, but beating his son half to death.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because when his son didn't want to be like his dad.
Oh yeah, he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, so this is the world trying to get, or Chicago and the world trying to get back together, wondering, all right, well, I guess we're going with our lives and I guess we still kind of need superheroes, but how are we going to trust superheroes after the best one, the strongest one went crazy on us? So this is the world that's trying to get its grasp with superheroes, supervillains, and the superheroes are also trying to figure out how to go about their job because they're not that good either.
Right.
They're kind of scared after this guy. He said he just killed a super team, And it's funny because he killed a super team and the others that are getting back together, like, we don't have to fight a guy like that again, do we?
Yeah, it's like somebody killed the Justice League and they just told the Teen Titans, like, well, I guess it's you guys now.
Yeah.
What?
But there's also new supervillains that are coming up. And also outside of the superhero story, you have, again, the drama that we're talking about. We're talking about not the superheroes in the world trying to pull themselves together, but also, the family, Omni-Man's family being traumatized. His wife, Debbie, was voiced by Margaret Cho.
No,
I mean, God damn it, boy, that's racist as hell. I just picked any Asian name. I'll take that one. Sandra Oh. Margaret Cho, Sandra Oh, you know. Oreo, Heidi Ho. Yeah, I'll take that Asian name. Can I return this? No, Sandra Oh voices her. She's very traumatized after figuring out her husband was the guy who was sent here to not only conquer the planet, but not really even be in love with her, but treat her like, quote unquote, a pet. And same with Mark, having to deal with that, his father is also somebody that didn't really have any high regard for him except as a weapon.
And it'd be different if he grew up with a father who was mean or distant. But he had a loving father. They were best
present
friends.
father.
Yeah.
I mean, that's diabolical too, man. I mean, he played that role.
He sure
He
did.
played it too well.
He played that role hard too. Like right there, he don't care about that kid. He's just trying to raise him to be, like him and be a weapon.
Well, even with his wife going on romantic vacations all over the world.
Having sex with her.
Yeah.
Having a kid with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, procreating and all that, man. Yeah, it was
You forgot for real.
Yeah.
While he was there.
yeah, man. Yeah, got that old I don't know how people couldn't tell. He got that old Hitler-ass mustache and everything. But as far as this season goes, man, I believe that, yes, for the most part, it really does keep up the quality of the first season. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is what also makes this an important show. I said one thing, but it's a couple of things. I believe that the quality of something like The Boys in this, but especially this, I believe that these are so good that they're what's kind of keeping superheroes going.
Sure.
Right,
'Cause when
yeah.
people talk about the fatigue,
Yeah.
they do not mention the
those.
boys. Or,
They mention
No.
Marvel, DC.
I'm going to tell you, if superhero fatigue is real, then shows like The Boys and Invincible, they're the caffeine or the cocaine that we need to kind of keep us awake and want more of this. For one, it's not a movie.
Yeah.
It's a show. So as we were talking about earlier, if you're watching the show, we were talking about how being a movie actually allows you to do deeper storytelling. Actually, you don't have to.
being a TV show.
I'm sorry, being a TV show. Being a TV show allows you to do deeper storytelling.
Yeah.
You don't have the time constraint on yourself. You don't have to rush things. Also, these two things are hard rated R.
Yeah.
We're talking about, with The Boys, we're talking about sex and violence. With this, we're talking about a lot of violence. Just really gory, limb tearing, intestine pulling.
Yeah.
They want you to see everything.
Head crushing violence right here. But they know that this is not what this is completely about. It's not about the violence. It's also being able to tackle, real mature, dramatic storytelling that they have right here. But the writing on this works on so many levels. We were talking a little bit earlier also how this works as a comic book satire. It works as a drama. It works as a comedy. Just focusing in on the drama here, man, there's a lot of emotional moments in here that, despite this being animated, despite this being funny in a lot of parts, despite this being extremely gory and violent, they never miss an opportunity for those emotional moments to have a deep impact. Those emotional moments hit, man.
They do.
I'm talking about the sad and the happy moments. They never stop to take a breather to let Mark be a kid. They never stop to focus on the pain and the grief that Debbie, the Sandra Oh character, is going through, Mark's mother. At the same time, it doesn't take itself too seriously either. Listen, this is a superhero show. We're not, as we've learned with a lot of things, we don't want to go too mopey and emo and dark.
Right.
It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very funny in parts, man. It still remains a satire, but it never disrespects the genre.
That's the way to do it.
It never, it's poking fun of it the whole time. If you read comics, you'll see where they're making fun of the superhero genre. But it never stopped them from being a real show where it tells real stories, where it has real emotion. And it's amazing that they are able to balance all that out like they do.
Yeah.
And I'm mentioning this because this is one of the important things that I'm talking about right here. So the drama here is great. As I said, a lot of them are dealing with trauma here. Trauma has been and here's the thing about trauma and PTSD. That's been a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm getting trauma from watching trauma. PTSD, you know, it's been, but it's almost overplayed that we've seen this over and over again in so many things. Hell, we just saw it in Fast Night,
I know.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if anybody deserves to be in their feelings, it's Mark and Debbie, man. I mean, they got played hard.
I know.
They got played hard. He got his ass beat.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. You know, we just explained what Omni-Man did. So, you know, this is something where, again, I appreciate this being a show because it really has been great exploring this. Because, I mean, they really are trying to move on as a family. I'm watching this and I'm like, man, you know, these are animated characters and I'm wondering how they're going to actually, I feel for them. I wonder how they're going to get through this. You know, again, you have this woman who is suffering because she's so, you know, her marriage was a sham. But you have Mark who, I like his story so much, man, the way they handle it, because Mark is so scared of becoming his father that he's pretty much just mentally exhausting himself trying to save the world.
Yeah. Trying to make up for what his father did.
These characters, these animated characters, I have so much sympathy for them, for more than live action characters I've seen lately. You know, I feel sorry for him, man. He's really going through it.
Oh, he really is. He really is. You know, and he's trying to push through just with his grief. Like, if I could just keep doing this, I can stay ahead of it, not fall into it. You know, whereas Debbie's falling into full depression. And when you think things can't get worse for her, they do.
Man,
when she tries to get help, that goes so horribly wrong.
Man, I'm kind of mad at this show, the way they treating her.
I know.
I was like, damn, give this chick a break, man. Because for those who have seen the show, you already know that Debbie's got it bad. She's suffering from a deep depression. It gets worse.
Damn, so that first season ain't shit.
Ain't shit to what this does to her now.
Yeah.
She can't catch a break at all. Hell, she went to get emotional support at a meeting. Hell, she came back more depressed than she did going in. Hell, they had her ass walking around the city with barefoot, like walking like a zombie. Yeah, she's so sad.
It's a hard scene to watch.
It is. She's so sad. She lost her shoes and could care less where they are, man. Yeah, she's walking the street like a zombie, man. Mark has to deal with not only his dad betraying him, his dad being who he didn't think he was, but also as if that wasn't enough for this family to go through. You got this guy who is pretty much sort of like the Nick Fury of this show.
Cecil.
I liked him.
Who pretty much, and we're still trying to figure out, is he using Mark during his grief? Because he pretty much he's at Cecil's beck and call. He's like, hey, there's something going on in space. Go handle it. You know, he's like, but I got class. He's like, I don't get.
That's the same way he was in the first season.
Yeah, but now it's even more suspect because it's like, well, he knows his kid is feeling guilty now. So is he taking advantage of that? How is his character? You know, this character, it seems like he might be getting shady, maybe not. I don't know. Walter Goggins does the voice. Do you still not like the voice?
Yeah, I like it. It's fine.
Okay, because I know y'all didn't like it at first.
It was because it just changed the nature of the character. But I'm fine with it.
I've always liked that voice for him. I don't know why, but Walter Goggins does a great job at that. You know, and it's all of this stuff where I agree with you. All these things that we're talking about. It's what does make me slightly like this better than The Boys, because The Boys is. On purpose, it's not by accident. You know, it's a very angry show. It's very violent and very angry, very bitter. It's very cynical. You know, and with Invincible, as violent as this is, and it is extremely violent. But as violent as it is, it never forgets that it has heart. And again, you know, you have other stories out there besides Mark and Debbie. You know, you got other subplots. Adam Eve, who her powers come. This is a woman who can make, you know, she can morph atoms into anything. She can make anything at will. She can take, you know, this iPhone and make it an Apple if you're hungry. Yeah. You know, or she can make it gold if you need some money or something. You know, which is a great power to have, right? Well, turns out that everything backfires on her.
Yeah, there's something with her that I think she discovers that I've often thought with superheroes and battles, where it's like, You fight somebody, whether you think you know you can beat them easily, just take care of it. Don't be around and you know, trying to spar and all that shit and talk shit. Just get it done and get it out of the way.
Or when human beings who have no superpowers, but they're doing their job and know what they're doing, don't come in there and tell them how to do their job.
Yeah.
You know, because chances are they know something that you don't know, even though you have powers. Everything that she does starts to backfire on her, and it comes into conflict with her family, especially her father, who has a lot of pride and don't want his daughter coming in and doing for them. It's a really cool storyline because it's a thing that you have this power to, you know, make anything. It seems like that would be a huge benefit to the world. But it's backfired on her so much that she's like, you know what? I don't even know if I want to be a superhero anymore.
Right.
With all this drama working very well, even though we have, you know, these exaggerated superheroes, this drama is working so well that I think that this show, unless there's another show that I'm missing, I don't know if there's another show that's animated that is handling drama on this level. You know, that is actually being this mature about it, this deep with it.
I mean, I'm sure
outside of anime.
I was going to say, I'm sure there's some anime that somebody would argue that would say that.
Now, let me say, you know, very, very specific here. Anime has paved the way for this, but Invincible, I think, is kind of changing the way us Westerners, Americans, look at animation. You know, because you know, the anime has helped this whole thing of showing us that animation is not just for kids. And we have a lot of adult animation here in America, but most of it is funny.
Yeah.
Most of it's Adult Swim.
Yeah,
Adult Swim
stuff, or it's stuff that would have been on Fox Sunday nights.
Yeah,
except it's more extreme. It's just more raunchy.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, anime aside, as far as something that's produced right here in America for Americans, I don't think I've seen another American produced show that handles drama like this. And I say this because even up to now, I'm such a lover of animation that I've been waiting almost a lifetime for America to finally catch up to this point right here. You know what I'm saying? It's like I had to grow up watching adult animation, and when people would still tell me, nah, it's for kids.
Yeah.
I watch a cat crow, you know, like the Fritz the Cat, one of the first X-rated cartoons.
Right. Yeah.
My mother let me watch that.
Yeah.
Because, that's cartoons.
She must not have saw what was going on.
I didn't let her see that part. I'm kind of lying. But I got away with a lot because they just saw cartoons and they thought it's for kids.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's another thing right now that's good. And y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. That's not a challenge. Please let me know. I don't think there's anything that's animated that's produced right now here in America that's handling drama on this level.
No.
Right here.
No. Especially. I think, like you think back to the last episode of the first season, and I think anybody who saw that was emotional. Because I know even with the first episode, because it's just, hey, it's about a kid who gets his powers, and a lot of people were like, okay, I guess it's all right. I don't have to watch it. And then everything that happens after the credits had people going, oh shit.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got to keep watching now.
And some people are naming some things. Spawn.
Come on, that's a joke. I'm sorry. No, it has such an emotional reaction.
Wow, you got me. You became animated. Hey, wait a minute. Who said that? Who said that? Bring him here. Not Spawn. I will give you this.
Maybe mature. Goddammit.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Arcane to a certain level, but still, that was still more fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about human drama on a grounded level. You know, I don't think we've ever seen it like this.
No.
And I think it's just changing the perception of animation that we see. That the way we see it here, us Westerners here in America see it, man. And I'm grateful for that. I've been waiting a long time for something like this. It doesn't get too serious. It still embraces the comedy. And man, this show is so many things that should work together.
It is. And you got all the different characters and they're developing them each as they go.
Yeah. But it mixes it all very well. These things should not be mixing as well as they do. You have this deep emotional drama, and then it'll turn into a straight out comedy with something like Alan the Alien.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole episode.
That episode within an episode.
Yeah, dedicated to Alan.
And the show just changes from, I mean, seriously, people, we go from Mark having a human moment with his girlfriend to, you know, some silly shit where a narrator comes out of nowhere and just starts, we don't even know who this guy is.
I know.
Let us change our attention from Mark and his girlfriend to this right here. And it's like, okay, what's happening? Mm-hmm. And at first I thought like, I don't know if this is going to work, but man, that was hilarious.
It was.
And it told a story.
It told a story. And it was something they did with the comic, but where you first meet Alan, and when he shows up later, he just seems like a funny little goofy guy.
Yeah.
But here, you know, they keep it light, but they go into his story and you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of deep.
That's the thing about this, man. And I think this is the reason why this works. Everything that they're doing here, no matter how much it seems to be different from, you know, some other mode of storytelling, everything lends itself to a bigger story. Mm-hmm. This is not just, you know, Alan's story is not treated as just a standalone joke.
Right.
You know, his story lends to the bigger story because they're building a world of their own here. Mm-hmm. And everything from the satire to the drama to the comedy is lending itself to building this world and these stories of these people.
Yes.
And characters. That's why this works so well, I think. You know, and speaking of which, you know, this is called Invincible, but, you know, as I was just saying, they are building a whole world right here, man. And that means we're exploring a lot of characters. We were talking about the Guardians of the Globe, you know.
That dude's back from the dead again.
He's the immortal, man.
Immortal.
Come on, it's in the name. His name is
the concept.
Bro.
So his name is Immortal, and he just said, wait a minute, he's alive again.
Bro, I forgot his name. I just know he keeps dying.
And he keeps coming back because he's immortal.
Well, I forgot his name.
Yeah, they hint that he was Abraham Lincoln.
Huh?
They hint that he was Abraham Lincoln.
I know he looked like Abraham Lincoln, but I know they were in that day.
I thought I expected you to say, where's Hattie? Nah, you know, I love that the way they're building out this world, and this world is learning how to live with superheroes in complete fear, by the way. Mm-hmm. But even the superheroes are in fear. Mm-hmm. You know, the Guardians of the Globe, they can't seem to get their shit together. They have a lot of infighting. They lack focus. It's almost like office politics, except their office politics gets people killed if they're not careful.
Yeah.
You know, I like their story. I like that they are, you know, just thrown together after Omni-Man has destroyed the last team, and they're just kind of like, we don't know what to do, man.
Yeah.
You know, people are getting fired and rehired, and people getting put in other positions. It's fascinating to see.
Yeah, it's like suddenly the B squad got called up to be the A squad, and like, and they got a boss just constantly going like, y'all are not cutting it, not giving them a break. Like, ain't no building their confidence. Is like, y'all better stop. That's all I got to say. And
it works too, because every time they go out to save something or save someone or save the world, I'm so nervous that they're gonna get somebody killed. Mm-hmm. I'm more nervous about them than the thing they're fighting. And they know it too. They're like, yeah, we ain't ready, but you said guys on their ass. Yeah. Cecil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
None of this would work if the voice work wasn't great.
Yeah, voice work is fantastic.
Yeah. Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back as Mark. Sandra Oh, again, is very great, especially this season where she's going through a lot. Tell you about Walter Goggins and everybody. I really like, everybody kind of says, man, I'm tired of Seth Rogen.
No, he's really good as Alan.
But he's great as Alan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was good in the first season as Alan.
Yeah, and when you hear him, it's like, man, it works. The only character I would say that I'm really kind of not into, because I think they just overact every time they're on, and it's just me, I'm not expecting everybody to feel this way, is Rexplode.
I was going to ask you how you feel about Rex, because, Rex, he's always so abrasive and kind of a joke. But toward the end of the season, I was like, or at least the first episodes, I'm coming around on Rex.
I like Rex's story.
I'm starting to like him.
Yeah, I never really hated the character. It's just that a lot of these characters are done so well. He's the one that seems the most over-exaggerated to me.
A few first. Why me? I mean, sure, I get that anyone would want to be me.
I escaped my prison. Now I'll help you escape yours.
No!
I mean, he's funny, but he's the one that seems the most cartoony out of everyone.
He is the most cartoony and all that, and all that. But he's the character that everybody goes like, you're an asshole, and we blow off everything you say. But I was like, if somebody would actually listen to him, he's making some good points. They just don't like him.
Yeah, and I can see why they don't like him.
The way he acts.
Yeah, he's abrasive, man. He's an asshole. He admits it. He takes pride in it.
Yeah, but everything he's saying, I was like, he's got legitimate gripes most of the time.
Oh yeah, well everybody's, this is the one time that they are agreeing with him, and they don't even like it. They don't like that they're agreeing with him. What do you think about the animation?
You know what? I didn't look too deep into it because I was just mostly focusing on the writing and getting through the episodes. But
yeah,
I mean, it's it seems like they really save it up for the fights.
They do. You're exactly right, man. Because I think the animation's good. I think it's just good when the characters are talking. I mean, but it's not great.
Yeah. It's like a lot of anime where
the mouth is just moving.
It's like the first season, pretty much.
No, actually, I think they put more money into this. But I think they put more money into the fights, like you said, because while the characters are standing around talking, it's just mostly them doing limited gestures and mouth movements and eyes. But when they start fighting, or they get into big scenes, and they get into set pieces and whatnot, then they really bump up the animation. I think Martin is 100% right. When they start fighting, bam, get the and that's where it really shines, man. They got some great fight scenes in here. I'll tell you this about the fight scenes, though. The fight scenes are intense because this thing is so violent, man.
So violent.
And
they just go for broke. And you think a limit on a superhero fight and how it can go, and they go like, nah, you're back there. We're way over here.
No, the fight scenes are more intense, and because these characters are getting torn apart, there's blood in every fight scene that they do almost. And the thing is, man, it's so intense, man, because these characters are getting torn apart in some of these fights. It makes you dread the fights because if you lose, you just ain't gonna lose. You're gonna get it bad. You're gonna be you're gonna get the shit torn out of you, man. You're gonna get your legs torn. It's gonna be like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
A fatality, yeah.
Yeah. Omni-Man story.
I'm about to say, I don't see a lot of him in that trailer at all.
Well, that's because he's gone for a lot of it. His story is, I tell you this, man. When you do see him, his story is way more complex, and it's just messy, man.
Boy, is it complex and messy. And you just, and even though I'd read it, just watching it play out was like, God, but they wrote great dialogue.
Oh,
for JK?
J.K. Simmons, first of all, is amazing still as Omni-Man. But, I mean, this dude, get your shit together, man. Even when he's trying to do good, it's still...
I know. I know. Like, yeah, even if you want to go, give him a break, you're like, no,
man. He doesn't. Even when he's trying to do better, he doesn't get it, man. And
he doesn't get it.
Believe me, we're not spoiling anything, y'all. But like, when you see what's going on with him, you're gonna be like, God damn, man.
That's how he was programmed, though. Right? That's how he was programmed.
Well, I'm not gonna say too much, but I would just say that the character's trying to evolve. And it's not helping anybody. It's not helping. Just go away.
For real.
They showed us that people can be united. People can look past their differences with racism. The only thing that's like, they don't look at color. They don't look at gender, anything. All the prejudices we have, they don't have that, because one thing they have in common is that they hate everybody else.
Yeah.
They look past racism because they're racism against the rest of the galaxy, the rest of the world, the rest of the universe.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. Hey, man, you want to get rid of racism? Be racist.
I mean, their whole philosophy is like, well, if you were worthy of living, you would have killed me instead of me killing you.
Yep, that's true.
They're like gladiators.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, they're like Nazis.
I mean, they're a twisted version of Kryptonians.
This season has an amazing, just frightening climax.
I know.
It really is one of those. It's a real how you gonna get out of this shit moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's one where, like, say you were jazzed up by the first season and you watching this season going like, well, there's a lot of drama, but I'm not getting hyped. You wait till you get that fourth episode.
Yeah. They
leave you in a spot.
I mean, at the end of it, all I could say was, oh man. I'm sure it'll work itself out, but I'm very nervous about how this is gonna go. Especially when, in Invincible world, in order for things to work itself out, a lot of people gotta die.
Yeah.
A lot of people gotta get torn up. You know, I haven't read the whole series. I got about halfway through it, so you probably know what's going to happen. So
it's been a while, so I don't quite remember. And part of me wants to look, but I was like, you know, I already hate that when I'm watching it, I know things that are going to come. So
I'm nervous
because I am so. But I do remember being at this point in the book, going, "What are you gonna do?"
Man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to get back into it after this because I just don't like what's going on right now. But that's a great thing. You know, when I say I don't like it, it's because some people have some really hard things to face right now, some hard decisions to make, and it's rough, man. I have some small criticism of this. I do think, because you said there's a lot going on, I think there is too much going on. Now, I'm going to let it kind of pass for right now because I don't know where it's going to go. But right now, the things that are happening, I'm like, okay, do we really need this here? I hope so. I hope at least it's something, because right now it's really not. Like the Lizard League? Like the Lizard League, there's a band of supervillains in here called the Lizard League, and like they had about 2 scenes, and they're not really leading towards anything. The same thing with Martian Man, who's also this character called Shapesmith. His character seems to be there just for some jokes, as the Martian Man is trying to adjust to human life because he's a shapeshifter. He can like pass as human, but he doesn't understand human culture. So it's just one big fish out of water comedy that's going on with him.
Don't you think it's interesting how when last we were left with that, it was that alien creature that tagged along, and it just seemed like it was going to be something sinister. But now it's him wanting to be a superhero and fit in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know where any of this is going. These are little things that are happening here, but I don't know. It might work itself out.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm wondering if these things are here because with the comic, like a lot of stuff that happens in that 4th episode.
Yeah.
Like they spent some time padding it out so that when now that shit happened, you went, oh shit.
Yeah.
But you know, with TV, you got to compress it because the audience won't have that kind of patience.
Yeah.
So maybe they did that just to space it out more.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're only halfway through.
That's why I'm not criticizing it too much. Now, if things don't go anywhere, because they are having a lot of things going on right now, man, that would be points off for me. But if these lizard people can do something, and if they carry the Martian Man story somewhere, I'm willing to be patient and see how that works out, and I hope it does. And if it does, then I'm going to even be more impressed because they have so much going on. The other thing, this is not really a complaint or a criticism. It's kind of a heads up to people. So this whole multiverse thing, it just seems like a fad now, because every superhero property is doing it. And it's almost being done either because it is a fad, or they're trying to, have them leave themselves out and things change, or some gimmick for nostalgia. They do have a multiverse story here, but to Invincible's credit, that was written in the book years ago.
Decades.
So they were actually one of the first to do this. And I'm really kind of fascinated to see where this goes, because they're not doing it for cheap nostalgia or cheap storytelling.
And from what I can remember, they don't do that thing that you brought up that we hate.
Yeah, exactly, man. They're not. This is not done to like, oh shit, let's go in this portal and see an Easter egg in there. Yeah. Oh my God, look what they pulled out. Oh shit, it's Batman. They're not doing that.
They died. That's okay. We got another one of them from a different multiverse.
Exactly.
Or universe.
No, we're not playing that right here, right now. Not right now, at least. Also, and this is something that's always a pet peeve of mine, but it's kind of done as a joke, I'm sure. Again, to kind of make fun of the superhero genre during the satire that they're doing right here. Every alien speaks English. They don't explain why. Then listen, I'm not complaining. I can let it go. I know, it's being that this is more of a satire of comics and science fiction, I can let it slide. But that's always been like a big irk of mine. It's like, all right, everybody just speaks English. I don't know why on another planet they don't speak Spanish or something, But again, that's nothing I'm complaining about.
I always assume that it's some intergalactic language and they just present as English for us.
As I said, I could be picky and take some points off of these things I'm talking about. Not the alien speaking English thing, but all the other stuff. But we still have a second half to go. So right now, this would be where like my title card would come up. I'd be like, so I'm gonna get this full price. I like it. I hope I can go higher. It might go lower. I don't know. But right now they're doing a pretty awesome job.
Yeah, I agree.
Of everything they have here. What would you give it?
I would give it a little full price.
A low full price.
Well, just I know because I thought about that. It's a weird thing because the last episode was a better than sex episode. Somewhere around I think episode 2, it was more of a high matinee.
Gotcha. I was eager to watch every episode. And I'm telling y'all, that 4th episode is something else, man. If you're getting tired of things or if it's not living up to your expectations, keep going. It's worth it to get to episode 4.